respected personalities in various fields of human endeavor respond to this call for turning academic research into innovation. That the COVID-19 pandemic has done, it has allowed a lot of assemblies to go on. And we in Lee Resources, we are joining that assembly. We are calling this a solution assembly. Not the civic assembly, not a problem assembly, but the solution assembly, because we are a solution organization. By way of introduction, Lee Resources is we call it Nigeria Strategic Human Capital Development Social Enterprise. It's a deliberate focus on governance, enterprise, and technology, hinged on learning and innovation. Our mission is to support people and organizations and governments to be the best they can be, using tools, practices, and techniques that are world-class. We seek to contribute towards the achievement of the global goals by proactively identifying opportunities, stimulating innovation, and generating solutions to challenges and problems. We believe that at this stage of our development as a country, we need to be taking some things a lot seriously. We need to be taken seriously. It's about knowledge. How do we apply knowledge for our development? And that's why our byline, where knowledge leads us. We believe that the development of every country can be research. And that is why we have come up with this initiative called Turning Academic Research to Innovation. We are really bothered that when you look at our institutions today, a lot of research is going on. We have quite a lot of effort at research. And we have so many universities, so many professors. But when you begin to ask what is being done with those researches, it's very disheartening. We have been engaging in the youth and the human capital development process for some time. And one of those things we usually ask our people, either through entrepreneurship or through employability, is what did they do their research on? What did they do their projects on? And most of them just forget it, drop it with the professors, and they don't do anything related to that. Decided that we must put this up to stimulate our young talented Nigerians to turn their projects into something that can be commercialized, something that we can grow in form of startups. So we believe that by doing this, we'll be able to encourage innovation within our educational sector. We'll be able to also stimulate entrepreneurship and reduce the teeming and unemployment rate among our youth, and also increase the promotion of local content in Nigeria. We believe that without value-related research, which is well-intentioned, we cannot build our nation. And we can see that the root cause of the problem we have as a country today may be because we are not even using a lot of our research efforts well enough in all spheres, not only in science and technology, even in governance, in sociology, and quite a lot of areas like that. And our focus is not so much about complaints, what the government is doing or what the government is not doing. We believe government has a role to play to create an enabling environment. But if they don't create that enabling environment, why can't we in the academia, who are supposed to really know a lot of solutions to societal problems, and those of us in the industry also can work together towards addressing some of the issues that will be maybe somewhere along the line, we'll be able to make the changes that we really need to make. And I think when two good heads are working together and many heads are working together, something positive will happen. So our issue is our issue is to avoid distractions about the problems, but to begin to look at the solutions. Not so much to be agonizing, but to be organizing, because you already have enough problems in our hand. And if we expect politicians and politics and governments to solve our problem, they will not. They've not been. This is 20 or 21 years that we've got into this unbroken democracy. Have we solved a lot of problems? Solve our problems. Research, discovery, innovation will. And a lot of times also we believe that we must promote agriculture. But if we promote agriculture without industrialization, we are encouraging the development of weeds all around because no value added. If we also promote industrialization, a lot of people are saying it. Let's bring foreign direct investment. Let's begin to create factories. But without agriculture, we're encouraging junkyards. But what is the bridge? What links agriculture and industrialization together? It's research. And creativity with commercialization promotes innovation. And that's why we believe that in that center, that bridge has to be built. And that bridge is innovation. And that innovation has to be supported strongly by research. And that's why today we have brought in renowned academicians, people, experts in various fields. And we have not just academicians, they are also practical, who have done so much beyond their academic excellence. They are also gone into the practice, and they have interest in entrepreneurship to come together. We've been having private discussions here and there, but it's time for us to step out and begin to push out what needs to happen. Science and research must respond to societal needs and global challenges. There's a triad here between science, technology, and society. And this thing has to be working continuously so that we can create the kind of equitable and sustainable development we need in our environment. See, we're looking at giving a lot of mentorship, a lot of networking, which is starting right away, a lot of business enterprise training, looking for funding support and access to markets. To quite a lot of these things, once we can migrate them from just the shelves of in the offices to something you can turn to business plans. We want to work with institutions, industries, professionals, lecturers, students, graduates, government agencies, NGOs, so that we can begin to create a basis for our innovation-driven development. Knowledge and research has become a decisive factor for economic growth. That's what one author says. The socio-economic development of regions or nation states depend increasingly on this resource. This is a valuable resource that we're not tapping into significantly. And we believe that this is an opportunity for scientists, engineers, academicians in poorer nations to stand on their own feet. We don't need a lot of international support to do this, because we're already here. One clear thing is that nobody will come here to come and solve problems for us. You see the array of professionals and professionals and academicians that we put there. No one of them is abroad. We are all in Nigeria. And why can't we connect ourselves to begin to utilize the knowledge to push for our development? And that is what TARTI is all about. The whole process is to stimulate, incubate, and scale. Stimulate, and that's the stimulation that is what we are starting today. So to understand the demand for innovation, to scan and see how we can connect them so that we can begin to generate new insights and ideas. And then how do we incubate them, create awareness, train them, model them, promote them, so that they can develop prototypes, they can begin to see what they need to do in implementation, and then so that they can also create access to the necessary support and funding. And we'd like to thank in this process, and I think a lot of us are beneficiaries of this, the startup loop process that was introduced to us about a year or two ago by GIZ, German Development Corporation. A lot of us participate in that process. And we realize that that process is something that is good for us to use to encourage our researchers, our innovations, so that they can actually turn to something that they can scale. Things we're thinking about. And we're thinking that the whole process will involve registration, evaluation, incubation itself, modeling or piloting, and then scalability of funding. We may be talking about this later. But that is the essence of what we are talking about today. But this conversation has to start with support and cooperation and collaboration from academia, the industry, government, and individuals. We believe that we can begin to create a funnel, a streaming of knowledge-based products and services to our environment. We have enough challenges already. We have enough problems. Nobody will come and do it for us. We have to do it ourselves. And we are turning people out of our academic institutions every year. All of them think they're looking for employment. But why, if employment is not available, why can't they create employment? Why can't they be entrepreneurs? Why can't they create what Zoom is doing in the world today? Look at what Google Meet is doing. These are all young people that have the necessary environment to do that. But what we're saying is this, and that's the takeaway for me, that I want us to take away from here. If government is not responding, why can't we, private sector, academia, why can't we begin to engage, collaborate, to make sure that we can encourage these teeming youth that we have in this country, the teeming talent that we have in this country, to begin to create something that is useful for our polity. Thank you for listening, ladies and gentlemen. That is what we are trying to create a platform for, and I'm very pleased, I'm very happy this morning to see all the distinguished personalities that we have invited to come and share their thoughts with us today. They are promptly here. Professor Sholari came in first at 10:30. We just met him 2 days ago and we're talking about this, and he said, I would like to be part of it at 10 o'clock because he believes that we need to make sure that science and technology works for our development. Thank you very much, and you're welcome.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kende Shogunle, for this wonderful introductory address. Up next, we have Professor B.A. Adeomi. He's going to be talking to us about research and its importance to local and global development. Professor, sir, good morning, sir. Hello, Professor Adeomi, sir.
Thank you, I'm with you.
Okay, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So, Professor will be talking to us this morning about research and development for entrepreneurship and industrialization.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah. Honestly speaking, I think there's a communication gap because I have almost finished the preparation of my slide because I wasn't getting the title on time. And in line with the theme of what we have to do, that is turning academic research to into innovation. I have tried to coin out a topic which I found out is also in line with what we are saying. I got the titles so late, so I have to adapt what in line with what I was preparing to adjust so as to capture the title. So the real title I am talking on is Research and Development for Entrepreneurship and Industrialization. The slide is there already. I send my appreciation to the organizer as I continue my presentation. The layout, next slide please. The layout of my presentation is the next slide. Can you please turn to next slide since I've passed it to you? Kindly turn to the next slide. Okay, so my presentation outline is there. I will first of all define the key terminologies in our subject matter. Then I will talk on research and development as a subtopic. I will talk on innovation and entrepreneurship. I will talk on industrialization. Then I will bring out my conclusion. Next slide, please. Now, definition of basic terminologies. I would not want to use too many technical language because in the industry, we don't believe too much in big grammar. We try to simplify for the understanding of those that are working with us. So I have defined or tried to explain the basic terminologies in our subject matter. Yes, as obtained in the slide. Research. In the context of our discussion, research is investigation. Just pull one, please. String. I'm sorry, the power is off. No, this is the other one, the second one. I'm sorry, the power is off and I'm getting to some that. Okay, thank you. So research, when we talk generally of research, it is talking of doing some investigations. When we talk of development, we are talking of providing solutions based on the research findings. When we talk of innovation, we are talking of using inherent qualities and skills to evolve useful ideas and products, which may be old way of doing things in an improved version, you are bringing entirely a new product. Next slide, please. Entrepreneurship, in line with what we are discussing, will simply mean converting products from research and development into use, such that as you do research and development, investigating, and also trying to provide solutions to research finding, you are now bringing it into use. Common people in the street, that they can now use your products. While industrialization will mean expanding, multiplying entrepreneurship products system for production at entrepreneurship and industrialization brings the product to you such that you can afford the costs. It should be noted that the terminologies that I have tried to define, they are interrelated and are seamlessly married to one another. They are all involved in the relay race of livelihood, sustenance, comfort, and employment for mankind. Can you go to the next slide, please? Now let's look at research and development more carefully. Research mostly investigates into a defined problem. You don't just go into research when you have not identified or defined a problem. And you try to provide findings after you have done your research. And when you are doing research, it could be in the form of a laboratory experiment, where you really go to the lab to conduct some experiments. It could be a study that you carry out, and it can even be a survey. Research can be in different form. It could be you going mathematical and doing numerical analysis, or you are trying to model a particular phenomenon or phenomenal situation, or a situation, or you may be going to the field also to do field work for your research. And sometimes research may go beyond a single discipline into various disciplines where you have multidisciplinary approach. So research itself tries to find solution to some established problems. While we are talking of development, in the developmental processes, you are trying to get the result of a research finding, and you are trying to go further to produce some product out of it. The product you are producing out of your developmental work that goes along with research may be original design that you are coming out with. You'll be coming out with processes of doing things or procedure or a procedure chart. It can be the outcome of research. It can also be a new or improved methodology of doing things. Even sometimes, after you have gone into development, you may come out with models that are now providing solutions to some problems that you have analyzed. And sometimes it can be in form of new products. After research and development, you can come out with new products. Sometimes it can be a machine. And even sometimes it can be in form of services. So these are some of the things that happen when you do research and development. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Now, it should be noted that as long as the product of research and development are kept on the shelves, they are not available to the end users, they will not be in the consumable form. And of course, it will not be useful again. So research and development should not just stop. Products from research and development must be upgraded and standardized to commercial versions. via extension processes and patenting. After which you can now go into production, and you can do your production at reasonable and affordable costs. The real challenge mostly in Nigeria is that most of our researches, they stop on the shelf. And if that is the case, the impact will not be there. Please, next slide. Let's talk of innovation and entrepreneurship. I have tried to define innovation for us, and it involves using your inherent characteristics to bring out a product. It's one thing, it's just like talking of wisdom. You may have knowledge, but if you don't have wisdom, people won't know the impact or the effect of your knowledge. If you go into research, if you go into development, and you're able to bring out products, and you don't put innovation into it, it will not become a product that is readily available to end users. So innovation is an integral part of entrepreneurship, while entrepreneurship will translate the product from research and development into commercial version. You see, there's a difference between the product you have from the laboratory. In the laboratory, you can only do some extent of usage of your product, because research mostly will have its own time. But where you talk of coming out with a product you have to be using continuously, then you may need to carry it beyond laboratory. You may need to be talking of standardization. And when you are standardizing, you are now bringing it into a commercial version. You have to subject it to many other tests outside the laboratory. You may also have to involve other professionals that will have their input to increase the quality of the outcome. It is the process of entrepreneurship and combined with innovation that leads to commercial versions. Therefore, innovation and entrepreneurship goes beyond laboratory into real practice, whereby your result, your research product is translated into commerce and business. Your research product is converted into cash. Your research product is converted into livelihood. Next slide, please. Your research product is converted into sustenance and into survival. And of course, local content is important. Technology is important when you are talking of entrepreneurship, because you must know what you have in your immediate environment. You must know the technology available, and you must know how to combine all those into serviceable products. Now, industrialization. Industrialization involves the agglomeration, the expansion, the upscaling, the multiplying of entrepreneurship in conducive ecosystem and ecoclimate for mass production for enhanced economic development of community and nations. Yeah, we will start by entrepreneurship. But you don't end there if you really want a nation to develop. Entrepreneurs have to be collated into organized structures to now start shaping out industry. Now you can talk of real production at large scale. The process of industrialization will start with nursing entrepreneurship mindsets. Wants to develop industrial-wise, there's no way you wouldn't be creating an entrepreneurial mindset in people and the entrepreneurship spirit. And consequently, next slide, please. And consequently, you will start to develop entrepreneurship culture. That culture must be nurtured, and people must start having it as a culture to be entrepreneurs. You must also be developing bankable entrepreneurial ventures, such as startup, MSSC, SMEs, and here and there you start to have business ventures. Please go back. I've not finished with that slide. You start having business ventures here and there, starting from the small startup. The small startup will grow into micro, small scale enterprises. Then small and medium scale enterprises will start to come out. After which you now start to develop a business ecosystem such that the various business ventures can relate with each other, and all necessary stakeholders are getting involved. Also, we have to develop innovative clusters out of our various business ventures, and we also get into technology hub. This is where research also comes in, where you start having different technology hubs that can produce new innovations for the startup, for the MSSEs, for the SMEs. And also, we start scaling up or having scaling up impacts through more research, technology, networking, government and all forms of stakeholders coming in, including financial institutions such as banks. And of course, also accelerators and mentors will be needed to help our various startups, MSSEs, and the SMEs to grow. Then you now start talking of agglomerating them to come together to form a larger setup, which is now industrial setup. It is when we are doing this, we are actually working hard to move from research and development into entrepreneurship, into business ventures, and into industrialization. Now, let me conclude, go to the next slide. It is a reality that the global economy has been liberalized, whether we like it or not. And only nations that venture into scientific and economic production can compete favorably in the liberalized global market. Nigeria should strive to be one of such nations. And this will help our nation emerge as an industrial nation. I can't call Nigeria an industrial nation because we have not really moved into the fiber. And that's why we have all the money and we are still poor. Start a rigorous work to move beyond research into entrepreneurship and into industrialization. I think that will help us as a nation. Thank you a million times for the audience. I think I stop there.
Thank you so much, Engineer Professor Adewumi. We are very grateful. Please, before we proceed, kindly help us mute your mic. If your mic is on, please check your mic and mute your mic. And if you have questions for Professor, kindly drop your questions down on the chat page so that we can read out your questions to Professor. So many of us might not know Professor. Professor has over 35 agro-food processing machines and original inventions. He's a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Nigerian Institute of Agricultural Engineers, and the Nigerian Academy of Engineering, and a member of the American Society of Agricultural and Biological Engineering, Association of Food Scientists and Technologists, India, and the Nigerian Institute of Food Science and Technology. So thank you so much, Professor, for this wonderful presentation, sir. So if you have questions for Professor, please kindly drop your questions chat page. Next online now, we have Dr. Obadino Adewale. Badino Adewale, good morning, sir, once again. Good morning, sir. Hello, good morning, sir. Dr. Badino, sir. Okay, while we are waiting for Dr. Badino, we'll go to the next person, who is engineer Dr. Kolawole Olonode. Good morning.
I think Dr. Badino is back.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir. You are welcome back, sir.
Thank you very much. Do you want me to go ahead?
Yes, sir. We do, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, also, depending on where you are joining us for this webinar. My name is Obadino Adewale. I'm trying to find my slide for sharing. Wow. I can't get my slide. Okay. Sorry. It's my slide that I'm trying to look for how to share, and I've done that before.
Okay, sir. So why Dr. Badino Adewale is trying to get his slides? Dr. Badino is the head of Department Food Science and Technology and the immediate past director of Biotechnology Center, Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, Nigeria. He's a grantee and research associate fellow of the World Academy of Science with research interest in food safety, quality, and fermentation technology. So, Doctor, you have the floor now, sir, and we can see your slides, sir.
Thank you so much. Please pardon me for the age. I'm here this morning to make a presentation on understanding research and innovation. This is the outline of my presentation. I want to thank my professor that first made his presentation, because he has made my work so easy. He has been able to define to us what academic research is and innovation. But permit me to still say a few things about academic research. It is known to be a systematic investigation into problem or situation. Where they intensify, we need to note those words that are highlighted with red color. So the intention of research is to identify facts or opinions that will assist in solving the problem or dealing with the situation. Meaning that before we go to research, we need to sit down and get it right. So if you don't get it right from the beginning, from the conceptualization, definitely at the end of the day, the research may not be what we expect it to be. And of course, and as an academia, you are expected to communicate as a scholar, communicate the output of your research findings to the general public, because your research is not expected to stay on the shelf or in your office after your experiment. So what is the purpose really of academic research? Number one is that we want to seek the truth and new knowledge which enhances social development. Any academic research that is not trying to achieve this is not trying to fulfill the purpose of what an academic research should be. Such research is also to be an integral responsibilities of faculty member working in an academic institution. Definitely, the faculty members working in an academic institution knows that they need to do research, because this is one of the core responsibilities of academic. What about innovation? Academic innovation occurs when faculty and students seek to build or use knowledge and skills in novel and interesting ways. As mentioned, faculty and students, they need to build or use knowledge and skills in coming out with something that is novel and interesting. The process of translating an idea or invention into a good or service that create value or which customers will pay, that is less than this, is not an innovation. Therefore, to be called something an innovation, and that idea must be replicable at an economical cost and must satisfy a specific need. There must be a need that has already been identified when the research is being conceptualized. And it is that need that that research will be trying to satisfy and to answer. Now, what are the benefits of innovation? Why are we talking about research being turned to innovation? Number one, it helps to improve productivity. It reduces costs. Also, it increases competitiveness. It also helps to improve brand recognition and value addition. It brings about new partnerships and relationships. And it helps to increase turnover and improve profitability. I want to make this thing as practical as possible. So I'm going to talk about how can we turn academic research into innovation. And in doing this, I'm going to use a case study of what I and my team have done in FUNAP and that we are still doing in order to fit into what we are discussing today. And the case study I'm going to use, even though we have many, this is current and it's ongoing, it's a project that we are doing that we call Agricultural Innovation Marketplace. It was a call that was made about 4 years ago by Embrapa in Brazil in collaboration with FARA, which is Forum for Agricultural Research in Africa. So we responded to that call and we got the grants. And the major, the focus of the call was that we need to come up with research that will bring out a particular product that will be able to answer a specific need of the community. And this product must not stay on the shelf. The product must not stay within the university. That product needs to go into the market. And that's why it's called Innovation Marketplace. I'm going to share with us. This is a flyer about the project. The project was on millet grain. And what we are trying to do is that we try to identify millet as an underutilized crop in Nigeria. That is one. Number two, millet is a very rich crop, a very rich cereal. In fact, it's 3 times richer than wheat. And Nigeria is known to be the 3rd largest producer of millet in the world after India. The question that we ask ourselves is that, what do we do with millet in Nigeria? All of us know, so I don't need to answer that. We know that millet is underutilized with this little information that I've provided on millet. And that is why we decided to see, how can we add value to millet? How can we make the farmers that cultivate millet get a lot of money from it? How can we use millet to increase the nutritional status of Nigerians? And because of this, we decided to come up with 2 major products. One, bread is a product that is widely consumed in Nigeria, and we use wheat majorly. We export wheat into Nigeria. Millet, richer than wheat. Wheat has its own peculiar nutritional disadvantage. Okay, so a millet can stand in for this. So we try to come up with an idea of using millet. Now, people are talking, there are a lot of challenges with bread. When people consume bread, they talk about different type of challenges that they have. But there's a type of bread that is not common in Nigeria, but they take it a lot in Europe and America. That is sourdough bread. This is type of bread that is being produced without the use of yeast. It is a natural fermentation of cereals. So we started to use millet to produce this sourdough bread. So we started with that project about 6 years ago. And at the end of that project, we now apply for another call that we call MBOS. So this project, MBOS, we have collaborators Nigeria, Ghana, Benin Republic, and Embrapa in Brazil. I happen to be the lead investigator. I coordinated all this team here from FUNA. So we decided to now say, okay, we were the founder, the donors, they saw that we are able to achieve what we requested for in the call, in our proposal. And we now say, okay, this time around, we want to take that millet to a very high level by producing student snacks, something like cheese ball from millet, and we got that grant. It's the innovative component of that, our research. Number one, we've tried to produce millet sourdough using varieties of millet. Number two, our sourdough that we produce was used to make bread and extruded snacks, which has helped in the nutritional status of school children because the product that we produce was used to feed school children by a PhD student, and the analysis was carried out and we saw the effect. Thirdly, the extrusion technology that we are trying to use is important for obtaining processed food that are stable to temperature variation and safe of microorganisms. Lastly, the versatility of use of blends of cereals and legumes mutually combined can provide snacks ready to prepare flour and ingredients for bakery industries. So from that project, we have a complete extrusion processing line in FUNAB. And these are the equipment. This that we are seeing here is an oven, a drying oven, where you can dry your cereals, irrespective of what the cereals is. Either millet, sugar, maize, any cereal. With this, you can dry it. This is a drying oven. And after drying, this is a milling machine, hammer mill. Everything is stainless steel, 100% stainless steel, that you can mill your dried cereal and get your flour. The flour that you can now use, you may decide to say, okay, I want to now use my flour to bake. I want to use my flour to, I want to use it maybe for frying. But what we have done is that, taking it further from the flour, we decided to extrude the flour to give us an extruded snacks. So all what we are seeing here is just a unit operation that I took the photograph. Everything is a processing line. This is the milling machine. This is the mixer. And after mixing, we have an extrusion machine that extrudes. After extrusion, we have the dryer, and this is an equipment that flavors the snacks when it comes out, and we have a packaging machine. So this equipment is in FUNAB and it's working. These are the products for us to see. This is the extruded snacks. This is from sorghum, 100% sorghum. Look like cheese ball. We have different shape that we can turn the product into. And this is extruded snacks from millet flour, 100% millet flour. And this is also what we are seeing here. This is the bread, the sourdough bread made from this millet flour. Now, what we did after getting all this is research. Our students have, and because we have this equipment in FUNAB, I will note that a lot of people are not aware of this, and we call this thing a marketplace project. We want the product to be in the market. We also want to empower the prospective entrepreneurs. And due to this, we decided to bring out a call for training, a 5 days empowerment program. And this call was out last week, Tuesday. It's free for people that are interested. The call will close on 29th of this month, which is next week by God's grace. And the good thing is that as at Wednesday, which happens to be a week after the call was out, we've gotten 72 people that are interested in coming down for this empowerment program. So this is still part of the picture for the processing line for the extruded products. And I'm just using this opportunity also to tell people that are interested, they can go and register online if they want to participate in that program. So this is how to turn research into innovation. Thank you very much. And I'm open for contribution and questions later. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Obadino. Wow. It just dawned on me now that while you are doing your presentation, I did a little research and I discovered that as of 2015, the bread industry in Nigeria is worth over 122 billion naira. Just bread industry alone. And this is a viable, for me, I believe this is a viable research which could empower a lot of people within the country. Thank you so much, sir, for this contribution. If you have any questions for Dr. Obadino, you can kindly drop your questions in the chat page. We'll definitely read it out so that you can answer your question later. So next we have Engineer Dr. Kolawole. Dr. Kolawole is the current chairman of the Nigerian Society of Engineers in Abeokuta. Dr. are you with us, sir? Good morning, sir.
Yeah, very much with you.
Oh, good morning, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Doctor, you have the floor, sir.
Okay, I think you have my slide.
Yes.
Will you share it for me?
Yes, sir. Yes, I will do that right away, sir.
Thank you. Yes, good afternoon. I think, okay, good morning, everyone, or afternoon, wherever you are joining this important gathering. It is my pleasure to be part of this innovation and also an opportunity for researchers and the innovative minds to rub minds, to network and collaborate. Innovative idea, which I will commend the organizers not to relax. We should continue with this until the success is achieved. Thank you for the opportunity for inviting me. I think you are hearing me, sir?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Okay.
Thank
yes,
you.
I will be talking about the role of professional bodies in supporting research and innovation. When I first got this topic, is it the role that professional bodies are currently playing, or they are expected to be playing? Because I seem to see a divide between what the professional bodies in Nigeria today and supporting research and innovation. But here, what I think the professional bodies are being running now, or what they will be coming to later. We say a professional is different from a scientist. A scientist develops knowledge, and I think a professional develops science and the result of the science into activity that benefits the society. Like, for instance, if we say engineering as a profession, engineering as a profession utilizes mathematical analysis, scientific discovery to translate these discoveries this theory that appears to be in abstract into what is valid, what is for human society. So a professional is also expected to be a member of a particular profession. If you're a medical doctor, you are expected to be a professional, or you are a professional. And then, please, you only take slide when I ask you to take this, so that, yes, there are many professional bodies in Nigeria or all over the world. Like I said, professional bodies are as many as professions that we have, because everybody wants to find a platform for themselves to be able to organize themselves into a group, to share ideas, to find a means of advancing the knowledge. So we say professional bodies consist of individuals of the same profession. All professional bodies are not for profit making, they are not profit making body group. Most often they are not supposed to be partisan in terms of politics. And what's supposed to be the basis for this? Knowledge, the profession that brings them together. As you can see, logos of number of the professional bodies that we have in Nigeria. We have the Nigerian Set of Engineers, we have ICANN, we have a Nigerian Computer Society, and so many others. So because when you say profession, it's not only limited to science-based professions. They could also be social scientists. Please, next slide. Please. Most often than not, professional bodies, when they gather themselves or when they form the body, the things that are very, very common to all professional bodies. First and foremost, they want to look after their members, the welfare of their members. They want their members to live in abject poverty. They want to find a means to really assist their members socially, economically, and otherwise. Then also professional development. That they want to make sure that their profession, they are always current and keep abreast of the latest things in their profession. Networks for professionals to fraternize, to fellowship, to discuss about things that bring them together. And also, they try as much as possible to advance knowledge. They issue code of conduct to guide themselves in whatever they are doing, with the bid to promote the profession. Government. They engage with the government, because when government is making a policy, especially when the policy is affecting them, or in a way that we also promote their profession and promote the product of their profession, they try as much as possible to interact with government, to try as much as possible to involve in the policy making responsible for immediate environment. When we are having building collapse, we have a group of professionals that comes together to find a means of putting an end into this. And then they set examination, they determine who is supposed to be a member of their professional bodies, and also they put disciplinary bodies. These are things that are very common to nearly any professional bodies that we may have in our society. Please, next slide, please. Let's now come into research and innovation, which is the subject matter that has been, these two key words are the words that we have been making mention of it. We have been having different definitions of research and innovation. We have seen that research and innovation, they are core to the progress of any society. Any society that is lacking in these two things, that society can never be considered as a productive or progressive society. And because it's in knowledge, knowledge is what is really directing, what is leading. Any country that is possessing this knowledge is the country that will lead the world. That is why nobody is even talking about the arms and ammunition anymore, because the knowledge matters a lot. It's a creation of new knowledge. Things that have not been in existence, you find a vacuum. In a lot of things that people are doing, you want to research into it. You want to know what exactly, why a particular trend is in this form. Then from there, you have the breakthroughs, then you also have incremental technical advances. a bit from a research, the innovation. There are a particular way you do things. You want to increase, you want to develop new techniques, new methods that are really high performance, in terms of saving resources, in terms of conserving resources. Talking about energy conservation, there are a lot of techniques. There are a lot of models that have been developed today, all in a way to reduce the consumption of energy. You develop new materials, just like the one Dr. Obadino just shared with us. All of these, they are innovation, whether research or innovation criteria. Not juju, not something that is metaphoric. It must be impactful, and at the same time, it must be implementable. If any science and research and any endeavor that does not follow these three criteria, such things could not be considered research and innovation. So how do professional bodies engage in this? How do they support what we see as a research and innovation, which I see as the core of this particular of my presentation? Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yes, thank you. Professional bodies. I'm a professional person. I've been involving in professional bodies for the past 17 years, as long as I am. In most professional bodies, we have a lot of what we call the leadership pursuits. These leadership pursuits, we have what we had recently with the Nigerian Bar Association. So also we have in also many professional bodies. Continue to engage in this. How would they have opportunity to support research and innovation? Many of them are becoming more political than even the Nigerian politics itself. If you want to see, just go to any of their AGM, you will see more politics than gathering together to really develop a means of advancing knowledge. So mindful of their activities, because most of the activities in engaging in leadership pursuits, in engaging in political, make them to even be killing their profession. Whether it is true or not, but we heard that the power, the opportunity that the Nigerian bar, the lawyers, they are possessing in terms of before they be able to address a court, is being welded down because of the pursuit that is really within them. They also never care about mentoring, and we know that mentoring matters a lot. They leave service to research, innovation, and development. With all this does not mean that the professional body are not well placed to support and innovation. They have even an advantageous position. They have all what it requires and all what it takes to be able to support research and innovation. For this, I will want to talk about the roles. Please, next slide, please. Next slide, please. Professional bodies, they have opportunity to link academia with industries. Because within the professional body, we have the academia, we have the academics, and then we have the industrialists. This is always a meeting point for parties, so that there will be academia, industry, interrelationship. It is only in professional body you can have this set of people. In the university, you have only the academians where they interact. You have this. But the professional bodies have the opportunity of bringing the academia and the industrialists together, which will give them opportunity to really leverage on this to support research and innovation. Because academia will bring the research in the university, they bring the innovation from the university into their professional bodies, where the industrialists or entrepreneurs will always take. So this is a very good opportunity from professional bodies to utilize. That how are they really utilizing this? And this is another thing entirely. So they have the opportunity to interface between researchers and entrepreneurs because of the advantageous position they are. So had the opportunity to create enabling platform to promote research in their publication. Professional body has almost professional body has one journal or proceedings at the end of their at the end of the conference. They publish things that are very, very germane, that are very, very innovative about their profession, which industrialists, which entrepreneurs could also pick from there and then contact whoever to be the author, and then from there they're able to develop. They also engage in exhibition because their members will have developed something. During their AGM, they had the opportunity to exhibit. But how many of these professional bodies that attend AGM, that have opportunities of coming together, utilize this opportunity of visiting the exhibition center to see the new things that people are developing? Perhaps it could have opportunity of developing it. Then conference, seminar, and workshops. Most professional bodies, they engage in it. And these are the name for professional bodies and the academia to share ideas, to see how do we advance research and innovation. And also professional bodies, they have opportunity to establish award for research and innovation. In almost about 60 years of Nigerian Society of Engineers, just of recent, Nigerian Society of Engineers have started giving awards to Engineer of the Year in terms of, if you call it Innovation Award. This, the advert for the 2020 is already out. That is what I really put there. This will also give an healthy competition among the engineers, or among the engineers in this case for the Nigerian Society of Engineers. Other professional bodies will also do this, so that there will be competition which will be able to really develop and pick or improve on new innovation that have been developed in most of our institutions. Also, professional bodies, because they collect a lot of money, they have a lot of opportunity, they have access to industries, they could have access to funds. They have access to funds. Part of their budgets could be earmarked for developing impactful and developable innovation and innovative ideas. This will even be developed in form of a prototype for entrepreneurs, for industrialists to come and develop. And then also, they should also engage more in accreditation. In accreditation in most universities, so that what the students have been learned is to produce students with innovative minds. These are things that I expected that should be roles of professional bodies. Professional bodies, they engage in most of these things. But to what extent are they really pinpoint? Are they really following up? Every year, you see professional body, they will develop a communique at every conference. But to what extent are they monitoring the communique? They will develop another one without really assessing the first one. So I've not seen any group of people that have opportunity to support, not even the government this time around, than the professional bodies. Professional bodies should take their rightful position in supporting research and innovation. Going into government, they can do it. And once they are able to develop, because they know that professional body is a crop of intellectuals, it's a crop of scientists, it's a crop of the people that practice, who are known in their field, which they can develop this. So it's a very, very good opportunity, just like this gathering that we are today. Ideas together, which could also be developed. Professional bodies also have opportunity to do this. Yeah, please, next slide. I will conclude that we can't be doing the same thing in the same way and expect different results. This is very, very true. They have a lot of things, and they have to do things in the right way to advance knowledge in terms of research and innovation. Thank you for this opportunity. And also, I also want to share the work that I did at my PhD level, where I find a new value for cassava peels. Though they are making a lot of effort to find new value to it, but we are also finding a new value to cassava peel in construction industry. It's in cement. Please, if you want to have more information about it, just Google cassava peel or cassava peel ash, or if you just Google my name, on Google, you will see a lot of information concerning it. I will have given the link to it, but please permit me. And as I said that cassava peel ash in construction industry, as you will see a lot of things that we have done on this. Ordinarily, we did it here, but we could not see anybody to develop it until the other ministry of the German Ministry of Research and Education.
Are we all together?
Yes, we are hearing you, sir. Yes, we are hearing you.
Thank you. Yes. I'm very glad that the previous presenters have already made this known to us, that this is where we are heading to. We are heading to research and development and innovation. We know where we are heading to. I'm very glad that now that we know where we are heading to, I think the paramount factors now that remain, or decision that remain, is how we are going to get there. And by His grace, we will try as much as possible with what I've even seen today. And from the remark of our Honorable Shogunle, who mentioned one of the important stakeholders who join us together, which is GIZ. I'm very glad that you mentioned the point. And the importance, the topic given to me to talk about the economic importance of research and development, it makes it easier for me because you have mentioned the stakeholder, how important stakeholder is into this particular thing we are trying to solve. For the past few years that we have been in the educational sector, I'm not so happy with research issues because we don't value, we are not doing research in such a, especially if we have to look at the situation we have. Research is not the way we should handle it. But I'm glad because we know that there's a problem with research, with our research output. And that's a problem known, is a problem solved. I think it's 50% now. So we try as much as possible now to solve the problem, now to look at the way we can resolve it. I want to make this as very important. There's no any country in the world that can make progress without research. Country that we are clamoring for today, we are looking forward to be like them, or whenever we visit them, we are always as if we should not come back to Nigeria. It's as a result of innovations and it's as a result of research and development. So because it is that research that will not make things to be stagnant. Whatever that is in existence, it's only research that can guarantee us to see that any new thing that can come out of it is through only research. If we leave whatever we have seen with our parents, maybe the type of house they are living before we are born, if there is no research, that similar building or structure will have remained the same. So it's important for us to also lay emphasis, and that is why I'm so happy today that output of all the university or polytechnic is always end in that research output. To say, who is your supervisor? Without your supervisor, without your project, you have not graduated. But unfortunately, the output is not used, or unfortunately, the research is not done, as the case may be. So research is a source of information. It will be giving us information from time to time on how we can update what is in existence. So that is the first and important thing that we should have as a mindset. Also, we should remember, I'm very glad today, I listened to all the presenters and I see that we are moving into private sector, which I love now because we have seen a situation we have. The public sector is not helping the situation. And for us to rely on until when the government is ready to do this, nothing will be done. Nothing. We cannot achieve anything except we are able to think outside the box. And I'm glad now that the private sector is an enabler.
Hello.
Are we together?
Go ahead, sir. Yes.
Okay.
We can hear you, sir.
The private sector, yes, the main sectors that we have, the public and private sectors. For us to utilize the research we are into now, or we are trying to see how we can have synergy, the synergy can come with the private sector. I'm emphasizing it again. In the remark of our honorable, when he started, he mentioned what joined almost all of us together, the professor in our midst and everything, is a private sector. Others, they are more into serious business when it comes to research. Why the research is important in the private sector is that private sector believe in competition, that nothing you could do, you should remember that you are in a competitive global market. Public sector is not care, it doesn't care whether they are competing with anybody. But private sector knows that if you start and without any innovation, you can just find yourself out of the business. So that is why now R&D, we should refocus our research exercises, our research strength and whatever, to focus on the private sector, because I'm seeing them as enabler. Why they are seeing it? Because they are interested in quality of existing product, whatever they are doing. We know how bread looked like in the olden days. I'm very happy that we mentioned about bread today as one of the industry. We know how bread was before. We know the various type of bread. Also ask ourselves, where are the bakeries before? Where are they now? Some of them that they are not innovative, we can't find them in the market again. They are gone because of lack of innovation. So this innovation we are talking about, it brings about a lot of successes in which we cannot underestimate what the research has done for them. Before I will continue, I want to chip in what I learned from Honorable Sugule one day in one of our meetings with GIZ. We are facing a lot of situations we are now because we are not doing research as it's supposed to be. Our researches, we have potentials, there's no doubt. One day when we are discussing, he told me about the situation. I hope he will also testify. I want you to talk it when you say, just say yes, you remember that you told me. For the audience, we also know that I'm bringing a point, sir. You mentioned that as a result of a particular country, they have an ailment, a disease. And in order for them to solve it, if they know they have to create a vaccine that the pharmaceutical company needs to now produce drug, what they simply did is to develop a particular solutions that has to do with the grasses that the animals will feed on. So as the cow and cattle are feeding on this, the milk that will be coming out from those animals will now be solving the problem of the disease that they have in the environment. I think you remember this, sir. This is a research work that not directly we may not be taking drug, but we may take, we are feeding on animals, which is agricultural aspect of our life. The agricultural sector can be apart from food they are giving to us as food security, they can also guarantee us the medicinal aspect of our life, which can cure a particular disease. From the grass, look at the value chain they introduced. From the grass to the cattle, and from the cattle, we are taking their colostrum or whatever milk from them and the meat. And it's solving the societal problem that they are facing as disease. So now I don't want to, because of the time, I just want us to look at agricultural sector for now. Because what we are facing in the country today as we are facing food insecurity. We know about what is going on with rice. We know about what is going on with food that we do patronize. Inflation is there now. Food insecurity because of food shortage. How do our research going to come in now to make sure that A plot of land, for instance, before the yield coming out from a plot of land will be maximized in such a way that with little cost, we are going to maximize the benefit from the plot of land. Agriculture today, look at this, from the seed, our research we can have a focus on the research on the seed. I'm talking about agricultural aspect of the planting, the planting, not even the animal husbandry. From that of the seed, there are a lot of improvement today that the yields, the output that is going to come out is better than what we know before in terms of per acre of land and so on and so forth. This is as a result of the research and innovation. Look at the cow and whatever that we are rearing today because of the hybrid that we are having today. These are important. These are the output of research. Some of this research are from here. Some of this research are imported. And that is why we are having this problem of food insecurity is being resolved as a result of improvised seed and animals that we have in our midst today. Let us believe in one thing. This ecosystem, the whole ecosystem and also factors to work together to produce the food we need to produce the population. The population is growing. As it is now, maybe over 7 billion people. One thing is paramount, we need to eat. What are we going to eat? The farming, agricultural sector must be improved. If our research now, we focus on this, it will guarantee us food security in the future. We need to do all these things to make sure that we are at par. We are at par now with developed countries in terms of using research. When we conduct research, we use it. Most of our research, as we earlier mentioned, we are not using them effectively. In fact, it's underutilized, if at all. So now in this situation we have, I can tell there are marketable solutions to the sector, the private sector. If now we can have our research in line with what is going to address the food nutrition security, improving the livelihood of the people. How do we combat climate change that is having direct impact on our agricultural issues and output? And sustainability of managing natural resources. How do we do it? Our research should be focused. The point I want to bring here is that our research should be focused, and research should not be when we finish, we are looking for somebody to use it. That is the gap I see that we should address. Academics needs to look at that. Professional has to look at that. Why can't we meet people who are in the industries that are available and let us follow them to see the strength and trend they have? How do we now come in to upgrade them? Rather than for us to finish a particular research, then we are looking for who will use it. No. We are getting, this is a missing link. I remember when I was starting my PhD abroad, when I went to the library to take my supervisor's thesis. I will never forget this scenario in my life. As I got to the library, I asked them that I need so thesis. When they checked through, they told me immediately that it is under embargo. As how? They said that until 2015 before it will be released to the public. This is, and I went to my supervisor to complain. This is what I heard from the librarian. He said, yes, because the sponsor of his PhD, they are still using all those findings. That is the importance of research, because before he comments, somebody is a stakeholder responsible for what he is going for. It is not when we now come back, as it is in our own situation in Nigeria here, it is when we return this, we are saying that they are not using our research. So that is the point I see here. For instance, now there is food and beverages companies, industries. In Nigeria, in Africa, the whole world is a global world now. We can tailor our research by starting by visitation. We can visit them physically. We can go online to see what they are doing. Then when we now have what it takes for us to fill some gaps, research commenced. When we commence such a research, and they will be in line, that is why we see some of our articles that we are writing. We see that these are the people who sponsor it, will be thanking them, will be appreciating them, because they fund it. Any research funded, you are sure that the person who funded it will like to, it's a must for him to use it. But most of our research in the university are not funded. We struggle to fund it by ourselves. Majority, I'm saying majority of the, look at the undergraduate. It may not be as bulky as anything. If they also follow a particular company, a particular industry, they will come out with something reasonable and we'll have the users for it. So the big challenge I'm seeing because of the time is that we have to take a deep look at research and innovation for instance, in agriculture. How will it work? How will this particular situation work for us? The benefits, what are the benefits we can gain, and how can we maximize these benefits? And what are the future challenges? If at all we are going to this research, we say now we are ready to be doing a functional research that will be useful, that will be patronized. Then if we choose this, that this is what we are, what are the challenges before us? And I want to say here is that it's very, very simple. For the economic importance of research to be well addressed, honestly, our culture needs to be addressed. Our institutional culture, academia culture, in such a way, both students and all the stakeholders, in fact, administrative arms of the university system or tertiary institutions, our culture needs to change. That we are to provide solutions, but to who? The culture of now having synergy. In fact, even among the interfaculty synergy, departmental faculty, so that in one way or the other, we have a robust output that we are to sell for those people that need us. It's researchers, but they don't want to pay for what they know that at the end, it's not going to give them results. Our capability needs to be improved upon. The structure needs to be changed. Graduate, which we have the teeming numbers of populations today. How many of our undergraduate studies, they can, all the project they are writing, is not, we can see thousands or not even millions every year. When we see this, why are they not useful? It's because of our structure. Right from 100 level, there's nothing bad for us to have a focus, right? Our students have a mindset that I am working on particular industry. For instance, if it is food and beverage industry, second year is monitoring it. Among all the food and beverages industry, which the company I'm working with, now the research can start before the final output of putting in into writing and report writing at the final year. This will really solve a lot of problems. And our strategy needs to change. I'm very happy that the previous scholars, they have talked about our more of synergy. The university need to broaden their heart. We are not into classroom again. We should make most of our strategy to be topics. So we can invite people in the industry to deliver some topics in our modular courses we are running, in such a way that they will bring experience to these students. And our own students will be able to now use such information where the gap of research is all about. And at the end, they will be able to work with those industries and benefit them. And it's a win-win approach in such a way that students will benefit at the end, scholars will benefit at the end, and the institution where we are will also benefit. So I believe that if we are able to improve our capabilities, the structure change, the culture is able to change, and the strategy we are using, not only we should try as much as possible to do facilitation, more collaborations with industry in the world. I believe with this, we can maximize the opportunity, the benefit of research. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. At the part of the part where you talked about synergy is one aspect. I also strongly agree with you, sir, because I believe collaboration is the new gold in the world these days. It helps us to do things in a faster way, whereby we can share resources, share knowledge, and we will be able to push any projects we want to do across to the world. So for some of us that might not know Professor Olalekan Zakaria before, a consultant for both public and private and multinational organizations such as the German Technical Corporation, now GIZ, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, Launch X Club Mentor, Central Bank of Nigeria, Industrial Trade Fund, and the Institute of Accountants of Nigeria. So thank you so much, sir. So if you have questions for Professor Olalekan, please kindly drop them in the chat, and at the end of the whole program, we'll read out the questions, and our speakers will also look at answering some of the questions. Thank you so much, sir. So next on the list now is Engineer Dr. Akinpelu Shogule. Doctor, good afternoon, sir.
Can you mute yourself? Unmute yourself, sir. Yes. Unmute, sir.
You are. Please unmute yourself, sir. Yes. Maybe you can just give it a little time, then you click so that, because it's going on and off. Yes. Okay. You are muted again. Okay.
Whilst we're waiting for Dr. Shogule, can we take some of the questions? Maybe in the process it will come online.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello?
Maybe you can and rejoin.
Yes, can I? Are we into responding to questions and answer or comments so that I can drop my own before I will go to mosque? Today is Jumat and I have to leave for Juma prayer, please.
Please, before Prof goes, I have a comment or question for him, if I'm allowed. Thank you.
Hello?
Hello, thank you. My question is for the last speaker. Can I go ahead?
Yes, I think you can go ahead, sir.
Okay, thank you. I like the concepts that he has brought into this discussion, but I want us to know that there is a big gap with this concept. Now, the norm globally is that the private sectors make their challenges open to the researchers, and the researchers take up that responsibility to solve that challenge or those challenges. Where does the synergy come in? The private sectors that has challenge or that have challenges provide the funding for such challenge. I will observe that in developed countries at postgraduate level, students most of the time doesn't pay for their research, for their work, for their tuition, because the professor, the supervisor has fund, has grants that he or she will put the student on for his or her project. And when such challenges, when such problems are solved, the private sectors that fund such research get the output of such results or such work. And that is why he was told that he cannot lay his hands on a project that was sponsored by particular people because they are still using it. I will give you a case study here. My collaborator in University of Maryland, a professor of food science and technology, got a call advertised in the dailies by the soybean farmers, cooperative of soybean farmers in Maryland, that they asked a particular challenge and they are looking for researchers that can help them in solving this challenge. He put a proposal together, sent it to them, to have a committee set up, and they screened the proposal, and he was given the grant to solve the challenge. And he got graduate students that work on this, and he used the money to equip his laboratory for the students to do the research. At the end of the day, the association, they were happy. The researcher, a professor, was happy for getting a laboratory, for getting equipment. The students also were happy for working on such a project, funded. It was win-win, okay? And you know, the good thing is that the following year, the project was 2 years. After the 2 years, the Soybean Association in Maryland called him again if he's need or fund for research. So this is what we are looking for in Nigeria. The private sectors, are they ready to collaborate with Nigerian researchers? Are they ready to put money down? Why are we having GIZ from Germany coming to Nigeria to assist? Why are we having a lot of projects sponsored in Nigeria by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation? Where are the Coca-Colas? Where are the Cadbury in Nigeria? Where are the Nestle? Where are all these companies that we are talking about? They need to come on board. How many companies will all the scientists or researchers in Nigeria goes to asking for what do you want us to do for you? That is not the way forward. These companies, these private sectors need to come out. They need to believe in us. They need to fund research in Nigeria. And that is when we can move to where we are looking for. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for the comment. We have seen that it will work. It is working elsewhere. And that is why I said I'm very happy with this particular forum. The gap is still, we know the problem. And I believe that it's a social problem now. More of we have to relate. Our relationship with private sector is not yet solid. Sir, I must tell you, let me give you an instance again apart from GIZ. International Committee for Red Cross. A few years ago, I was contacted for a training and a collaboration work with biogas because they have charter to enter any prison in the whole world. International Committee for Red Cross. This particular agency, which is international body, they want a situation whereby all our prisons in Nigeria will be removed from the national grid. and they want a particular research that can come out from that deliver biogas. I'm not in that particular area. I was invited for a training on leadership and management. I have to co-op somebody from chemical engineering. Go. I'm telling you, within this particular COVID period, now they have installed biogas as an alternative to electricity or whatever way, whatever forms they are using in Nigeria before, including Kirikiri in Lagos. This is a research output from chemical engineering and people that are in biogas sector. I think what we need more now, you can see international organization recognize it first. All companies now, we need to give a sensitization, this is a social issue now. We have the technical expertise, but we are not social enough. A lot of our programs in the university, I don't want to talk much, but you understand what I'm saying. How many of these companies are we having relationship with? HODs, deans of faculties, they need to go out and create a relationship. Most of my students today that have graduated, we still monitor in such a way that we know where they are working. We have a pool of where they are working, and they can give us the forum to relate with whoever that is taking decisions in their organizations. Sir, it will work, but it's a more or less of social. We can be inside the bus. I'm telling you, I've seen it inside the plane. Many people do not care who is sitting down with them. It's a social thing. You need to interact. Some of these politicians can be checked also through relationship. I believe that in one way or the other, they want to gain from us. And I believe in one way or the other, if we have the social interactions, we are going to have a way out. Thank you, sir.
Okay. I think I have some contributions, please. Professor Adeo, may I have some contributions, please?
Hello, sir.
Yeah. On the same area, because the two speakers are right in their perspectives. The issue is that most of the multinationals, they have their base abroad, and they also have their own research stations. In that case, they believe more and rely more on the information from their own research. But the truth is that this is where we need the government to make policy that such people or such multinationals should invest into the nation where they are sited and should invest into the research. Not only because this is where government is powerful. If our government made policy that most of these multinationals should invest in the country where they are in research, particularly in the universities, polytechnics, and higher institutions, that is where the government has power. Because otherwise, since they have their own research base, they won't rely on us. When we go around,
thank you very much, Professor.
You can only get peasant by trying to scout rank, but scouting rank is also a methodology that, particularly where there are interpersonal relationships, university improve on their networks to industries, because that also is essential.
Thank you very much, Professor Adeo. I like the fact that the conversation is getting animated and a lot of engagement is going on. Before you make contributions, sir, Dr. Shugule is back. Maybe we should leave all the contributions to when we finish the final presentation. Then we can then begin to call for questions. Professor Solari, we will recognize you, sir. We'll soon get to that point, sir. Let Dr. Shugule make his own presentation. Then we will have a series of discussions. I like the fact that the engagement is getting, and I get yes. Thank you, sir. Dr. Shugule, you're welcome, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. Am I on? You can hear me? Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. I'm sorry for the little glitch. This has been a wonderful day, and I'm very privileged to be able to hear the academicians and the researchers and the head of agencies speaking. to you from a very humble perspective is in my 44 years of practice of engineering in the developing and developed world, and having been a construction system and so on and so forth, my view of some of the impediments to all of us, as has been speaking. I think we are working on the old orthodoxy of translations of stakeholder objectives into reality. I think must be in focus for this group to work on the old architecture of governmental funding to multinationals, and then it goes forward like that. What to be looking at is crystallize a new and revised ecosystem, be more of acceleration of the translation of the intellectual property of institutions and researchers to directly benefit humanities in general. But that cannot happen. Commercial undertaking or the capitalistic outlook, the business model. Here's some of us to have postulated of and take a look at research, exclusive purview of multinationals and all these institutions. Kind of contradicting from the standpoint that we are small businesses that create and crystallize opportunities. That is often being faced by small businesses, particularly a slew of businesses that need particular information, intellectual property, to create a business undertaking. What we often find that is that the institutions are not aware some of the things that we spend a lot of time, necessary data, in the preparation of preliminary business studies and outlook. Amount of time. Whereas those things are resident within each institution. They have no way to directly, if I'm to call, say FUNAB now, I need information in this area, in this area. Are there researches that have been done by your students? Because some of the research that you might have done may not be directly related, but I could have the applied methodology of those research to be able to crystallize a concept of business model that we are looking at. Because we come in to be able to take a look at the intellectual property, see how we can aggregate it. 5 of your students might have done different research in different areas and be able to say, if we have pulled these students together under a guidance of professional and the leadership of the institution, the DVC, research and development, or whatever those designations might be, solution, indigenous solution to that development opportunity. Form is inherently lacking at the moment. Secondly, it appears that the ecosystem of stakeholder translation that we're working on, the institution, for no fault of theirs, look for the federal government funded research or the multinational funded research. Good, but nevertheless cannot be exclusive, because at the end of the day, those ones, they have a pecuniary reason and a very vested reason why they will get involved. Translate into the objective of entrepreneurship and the global employment opportunity creation, which is the hallmark such translation to innovation should be. Thirdly, is the fact that sector, we have an outlook of the institutions to you. Most of your research subject, when we say we need interest in this, we want to know this, the institutions tend to present their research and innovation almost in silos. The agricultural and food kind realize the back-end technology for the enterprise of the value chain of the agricultural side. The agricultural group may come from ICT, but the ICT does not see that in partnership to say behind this is going to be this type of technology that we will want to be interested and fund an aggregation of objectives that will be enforced. Is that each one of us, each of this time, is fantastic to operate in the old doctrine, in an isolated silos. All interplay among all this platform as a private partnership, and this is what I'm talking about. Look at the preliminary relevant intellectual property, research that have been done that can be collated and be able to be aggregated and optimized to crystallize a new model. Very, very new. But it feeds, say for example now, in the health sector, accessibility and affordability is a critical part of the necessary development that must take place. The same thing goes for agriculture. Is some of the technology, data gathering, data mining platform for the data collection to allow us to be able to say this is going to be the kind of business model that we want to look at. We don't have access to it, and when we come to institution, remember as private people, not used to the orthodoxy that the institution we want to subject a private partner to. Realistic. We don't have that kind of time. We get to deny, we do rigorous quality researches taken anywhere. If I come to your institution, wants to build a power plant, waste conversion to electricity power plant, I need 2-3 study students or what have you scale to be able to work with us, for example, in the modeling, in the analysis of the carbon-nitrogen ratio. Something along that line might have happened to you before. Again, either that undergraduate or a postgraduate or whatever it is that the institution that we can get, and be able to say, let's bring this 1, 2, 3, 4 into the team, the modeling of that carbon nitrogen ratio and the necessary energy auditing of the municipal solid waste analysis for us is soil virtualization. These are things that we have to do. But you may be looking at this and say, that one is not in the area of agriculture, or that one is not in the area of electrical engineering. Right. We are business people, able to have a dynamic interface and platform, a robust discussion that even your undergraduate students engage, and they can begin to see one of the presenters said that we need to change an orientation. Young people cannot see what their esoteric degree to. They just can't see. They are being prepared for employment that doesn't exist. Be able to crystallize them vividly, to be able to see that getting involved, being engaged here for employment, but make you a potential employer. Another thing is simply this. I hear some of us said, can a private partner fund research? The answer is yes. And you are used to the old doctrine, bringing fantastic money. But we are talking of a more sustainable ecosystem by a respected institution working with professional bodies and be able to crystallize and emerging entrepreneurs. emerging entrepreneurs and get them actively engaged in the present, more confidence in their capacity to develop in a collaborative way indigenous solutions to our own issue. To work in the old doctrine exclusively. Nobody is going to solve Nigeria problem. Nobody. Nobody is going to solve our problem. What we are attempting to do, and I hope we can do here, is without ignoring all of the things that have been discussed. Initial focus is how do we crystallize a new architecture? How do we crystallize it that can begin to change doctrine? You understand me? How do we crystallize that architecture? Because, ladies and gentlemen, when all is said and done, nobody is going to develop us to get them out of the marketplace. Not US, not Europe, not India, not South Africa, nobody. Whatever they are doing by way of funding or anything, they are looking for certain intellectual property. And they are a potential concept of things for us. Now, I know there are multidimensional challenges here of innovations, innovative research to be translated into, or academic research to be translated into innovation. Let me say something.
Dr. Sir. Yes, sir. Please help us to wrap it up, sir. The discussion will still continue again, sir.
Okay, no problem.
Yes,
no
sir.
problem. I will wrap up by saying, there's a former president of the United States that once said, our new processes do not appear full grown. They are founded on new principles and new conceptions, which in turn are painstakingly developed by in the purest realm of science. Said, yet the process are managers. There must be a stream of new scientific knowledge to turn the wheels of public enterprises. How can a private company find out about that new knowledge, publicly published research into a competitive advantage? Emerged is incredibly critical to this process. People active at conferences and helping the field to advance. You have to have input value put out. Generally, that is that the time has come. What we do as private partner is to be able to conceptualize and bring, we have the credibility and the market space to bring the funding to translate research. That is for another discussion. But our role with institutions and researchers to crystallize a more sustainable funding mechanism. Researchers can focus on what you do best. We take your CapEx and we make it an OpEx.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I know that a lot of issues. Yes. Mr. Kilashoka, you can continue so that we can take some other comments that people want to make. Thank you very much, sir, Dr. Shogule. It's been very exciting listening to you.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, sir, Mr. Kende Shogule. So we have Professor Sholani, who would like to say who would like to make some comments, sir. Professor Sholani, you have the floor, sir.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. I don't know. Well, actually, I just wanted to comment on the issue of whether it's the researchers should go to the industry or the industry should come to the researcher. Because it's like the issue of which one comes first, the egg or the chicken. Now, from experience, you find that it's only when industry is in trouble that they will look for solution. Who have gotten those who talked about what the experience was abroad, when there's problem, when they know that they have problem, they will look for solution. But that only happens 4% of the time, statistically, because 95% of the time, they are actually making some profit. And as long as they are making some profit, they are making progress, they're not going to bother about what you are doing. And so, we are the ones, the academicians, we are the ones to go and tell them that we have tools that can make them do what they are doing faster, better, that can improve their bottom line. If we wait, it is only when they get into trouble that they are going to come. And we don't need to wait till they are in trouble, because we have tools that can make them improve on what they are doing. My own experience when I was growing up, I was a senior lecturer then at IFE. As a quality management consultant, I walked into one of the divisions of UAC, made my service available almost free. Almost free, because they didn't really, it's like they didn't need me, but I knew they needed me. I have to let them know that, okay, you can improve on your quality, your waste level. Let's work together, 1% improvement. And they paid me almost nothing, pittance. But after 1 year, when they saw the improvement, we now negotiated and I got the
I've lost Professor Sulari.
Okay, while we wait for Professor Sulari to come back, I learned engineer Dr. Olonode too has some comment to make, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Kilashu, for the opportunity.
You're welcome, sir.
Yes, just to really add to it, I could see the major problem we are having is because there is lack of trust. The industry doesn't believe that there is solution in the university. And the university also believe that they cannot move to the industry. And even I have a case of an industry that is bringing a problem into the university, who is coming to seek consultants in the university. But all of a sudden, there is no power to continue the project in the university. Or there is strike in the NASU. They close the gate for that client to come into the university. Do you think such industrialists will bring his problem to the university again? They won't, because the system already does not give room for such. If you want to go to the university, imagine a university lecturer or a university consultant or a student who is supposed to be solving problem for industry now. Are closed. There is no power in the university. All these are the things that is making most of this industry not to have trust in Nigerian university or even the Nigerian researchers. And even at that, they are also losing too. They are also losing. And the trust is that they believe that most of our students are not employable. And they have forgotten that the university is not training the students for their industry. University are supposed to train all the students for every industry. Then university will lose its focus as a university. So we should not just chip in to accept that our graduates are not employable. They are employable. The industry are not ready to even train further. That is just it. If you just come, another company come, and you can put this one into your curriculum, put this one into your curriculum because of him or because of his industry. University will lose focus. I think what matters most is that, like Professor Sholari made mention, let us also move closer to these people. Let there be maybe occasionally, once in a semester, once in a year, like University of Lagos used to do that. They will they will bring even all those people that are even producing small, maybe paraffin, cream, they bring them into the university to come and showcase what they are doing. And from there, the researchers in different areas are asked to present things they were doing. University fund this. But all of a sudden, we just see one company say that he's also interested in funding. He's also interested. This is a yearly thing that they do in the University of Lagos. And these are things that we can also do to attract industries, to give them the level of confidence that there are a lot of brains in the university. If not so, then most of them, these are the international people, they will come, take the idea and develop it in their country. I think it's a symbiotic approach. You should not lose hope that we cannot do anything. We can do a lot of things. These are the trust. Unless we remove that trust, they will be able to achieve a lot. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Olonade. Kilasho, can continue. I think.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, Professor Olonade. So, aside from the challenges and the opportunities that is embedded in this discussion, one other thing that we are looking at is how can we support young people who has dreams, who has aspiration? How can we support them in achieving their dream? And that is why we come about this topic, turning academic research into innovation. We have...
Can I speak? I don't know. Can I speak, please?
Yes, sir.
You see, the issues we have to handle, there are so many that we just have to be taking them in bits, because we can't solve all the problem in a day. The truth is that we train people in the university or in the higher institution either as middle level or high level skill, and therefore they must be relevant to the industry. But in the higher institution, we can't teach everything. We teach principles and we demonstrate in the lab and give our students opportunity to go to the industry during their industrial training to learn. And that is why the issue of university curriculum is the one that it is regularly being upgraded to be able to incorporate new ideas coming. So our candidates or students we train should be able to fit into whichever industry relevant to them and to be able to deliver. But I think the problems, we should not only see, we should see solutions. But to provide solutions, we have to also understand the problems. One of the problems in Nigeria why things are not working is that there is really no synergy and there is no very good database. Is it like in the universities? University normally should not wait until a problem comes before they solve. University should proactively see what is happening ahead and start working towards solving problems that are not even yet conceived. See, for example, when in the region of Obasanjo was to start the Store Product Research Institute, he just gave a challenge. And whereas the people in the university have been working on storage, they just now collated all the various works that are already done in respect to storage. And that helped the government to know that the university can assist. And through that, we started the Nigerian Store Product Research Institute in Nigeria. And when that institute started, it was really contributing. If not for politics, probably that institute will have delivered far better. You see, in Nigeria, we have the expertise. Most of the innovations outside the nations, outside our nation, are as a result of a lot of information they get from our researchers or from our universities, but because they are more organized, we are not organized as a nation. We do not really collate data. We don't have a good platform where research data are collated, even sometimes on institutional basis. And because of that, we don't also learn to work together in a network. People work as a network. They work together, they know what A is doing, what B is doing, but in Nigeria, sometimes everybody tries to cover what he's doing as a local champion. But we should get beyond that, where we work together in a network, we do multidisciplinary research, we document them and get them packaged. In fact, most of our discoveries in the Nigerian universities, we are not patenting them because we are not organized. Except few universities that have a center, and that's what we are now trying to do in FUNAB, the Center for entrepreneurship studies. We are trying to see how we can be collating the various researches, get them into commercial versions, patent them. You see, if we don't think of getting organized, doing things in a better way, working together, we will always have problems. Now, to address the issue of industry, not industry, of course, there is no coherence. Like I have found out, and I brought it out in my inaugural lecture, I discovered that generally in Africa, we have psychiatric problems. We don't really understand. Why? We do not value ourselves. We do not value what nature has given us, and we do not treat them well. Unfortunately, even our expertise, we do not value ourselves. You will go abroad to bring someone who is not as talented as us to do a job that when he comes, he cannot even rate with us. But because we don't value ourselves, we have to really value ourselves, learn to work together, be more coordinated. And that is when we can get some ready work that whatever industry need our help, we'll be able to deliver. In research, you don't wait until people say we have this problem. You have to be proactive. You think ahead, what will people need? You get them ready. By the time they are saying they are needed, it's not that time you are doing your research. That is why this issue of strike shouldn't be a real problem. If researchers are proactive, they are doing what they should have done ahead. So that even when there is strike, you have a ready solution. And of course, I tell you, as a nation, we need to rethink. You discover that even now we have many young people who are into entrepreneurship. They are developing many products. We see them here and there with a lot of ingenuity. But how do we support them? They need support. Stakeholders should be interested. Instead of our rich people just blowing money anyhow and using it to oppress us, let them give this money to help these young people.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
You go to incubation halls. You see what they are doing, how they are performing.
Yes, sir. That is
I don't think.
Thank you very much, sir. Professor Adewumi, I can see your passion because I can always see that passion is there towards connecting this research to industry society. Thank you very much, sir. I think you can take on. There are two people. I think we should be wrapping up now. There are two people that I think make comments. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Mrs. Titi Lola Munkai. Mr. Titi Lola Munkai, please, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon. And want to thank everybody who has made contribution. I think I want to underscore, when you look at what Elder Akinfenolu Shogunle said, and the submission Professor Adewumi Babatunde just made, discover that they emphasized on issue of synergy and culture. You see, the culture of synergy is what we actually lack. And as we grow, we are taught to be competitive and not cooperative. That is something that we need to really underscore, even while we try to turn out graduates on a yearly basis. I'm a young person, I'm speaking from Bauchi, I work in the development sector, and I've attended a number of conferences, but you discover that when those conferences are planned, the requisite people who are supposed to bring stuff into the conference that are supposed to gear towards a solution are actually missing. It is usually a carcass of some people who are seen or perceived as dons, or who have a requisite network within the profession that are actually recognized. And there are a lot of emerging people who are doing great stuff that should be given a noble platform to compete. That brings back to the culture of being biased in selection and in terms of delivering approaches, broad-based. And this is across all sectors, I want to say. Then we are also trapped in looking for solution and within the political landscape. African solution does not lie within our political environment. We need to take that out, treat it as a constant when profiling solution. And I also think it's also very imperative that we stop calling for unnecessary policies and government regulations while we try to seek solutions to our problems. It is because most of the regulations and policies that we have are usually what even restrict and impart innovation, invention, and creativity in this society. So while we try to think, I think for a number of professionals who are here, if you are, I'm sure most of us are well to know well-to-do people who have worked across with several years of experiences in various fields. Across those professional bodies, I think the conferences should be enriched better. How? It mustn't be that you have an in-house committee to set up a conference or to be the ones that will vet papers. You can give it out to consultants who will organize. You can find people who are independent in terms of selection of article submissions and things like that. Then when people participate in conferences, they are given level playing grounds and it is geared towards solution. Actually, the last thing I want to emphasize is that we need to think in a systemic way such that everything feeds into itself. Everybody is part of a larger ecosystem, and the wheel continue to roll and evolve with everybody's input given adequate consideration. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Titi. Thank you so much for that wonderful submission. So I will call on Professor Sholari to give us a wrap-up submission concerning what has been said so far from all our professionals. Professor Sholari, you have the floor, sir. Okay. Please. Okay.
Okay, I don't know whether Professor Sholari is still with us. Maybe he has made his comment and left. Thank you very much. I think the time is fast spent, and I think we have actually extended the time we planned by about 30 minutes. Thank you. I would like to appreciate each and every one of us, particularly the respected, distinguished professionals and academicians that are here. I think a lot of points have been made. We started from talking about the research and academia itself, and then linking to innovation. And gradually we started looking at the bridge, which is the professional bodies. The president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Abeokuta branch, actually made a lot of points about what professionals should be doing, how they can facilitate a lot of things around research and development, and also link it to academia. But at least that point is obvious because they are actually a bridge. And also issues around entrepreneurship and also funding also came into the fore. And that started generating issues around synergy, collaboration, funding, the need of the private sector, and quite a lot of that. And we can see animated discussions about what role of each person should be. Generally, what I see from what is going on is that everybody, every player, professional bodies, academia, industry needs to have a change of mind, a change of focus, a paradigm shift, such that we can begin, if you really want to commit ourselves to developing this country, we need to begin to do things differently. And that different direction will start from an open mind. Open mind, the fact that we don't have all we have problems, we have challenges, but we don't have all the solutions. And we need other people. We need to actually listen to people first before we do whatever we want to do. And that is calling for platforms, ecosystem building, making sure that all parties come together, find a way of coming together. It's not just town and gown now. It is also all of us together, not even and. It is we, town-gown relationship. So that ecosystem is something that Lily Resources is trying to catalyze, to make sure that we engage in this kind of conversation regularly, in this kind of interaction regularly, such that, like Professor Ademu mentioned, the databases of even research, where do we have them? Dr. Shugle also mentioned that fact that if you need to even do research or need research in a particular area, what has been done, we may not even know. So we need to see how we can build a collaborative platform. And that is what think tanks do abroad, where they meet regularly and they look at the needs of society, put it in a pot, and they begin to funnel them to various dimensions, whether in academia and industry. And for somebody like me, who has worked actually across the board, I've worked in government, in industry, and a little bit in academia, I can see that there is that willingness to work together. But we still, nobody wants to bail the cat. But I think that cat has to be bailed now. And that's why a forum like this is being organized. And Professor Ademu also mentioned something about innovation hubs. There are innovation hubs, which are what I call transition organizations now. If everybody is not already in their silo, who brings us together? And so that's why innovation hubs are playing a significant role today in innovation. They're pushing it. When you look at Silicon Valley, it is not the academia itself or the industry. It's the fact that there are quite a lot of players coming together at regular fora like this, where things are thrown on the table. And I think that has to happen. Significantly, Abeokuta, Ogun State, with the amount of educational talents that we have, institutions and talent that we have, we can be the champion for innovation in this country. We have the pedigree, we have the institutions, and we have the people. And that has been paraded by the people you have here with us today. And I think we're just starting the conversation. So professional bodies have a role to play. They need to integrate people a lot more across, even among themselves. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the chairman of the Association of Professional Bodies to be here. It would have been here. Because that, apart from individual professional bodies that Engineer Dr. Olonode mentioned, there's also the association of them. So when they come together, they begin to look at how can they support and stimulate innovation. That needs to happen. The private sector has to play a lot of role. We have associations like NASIMA, we have MAN. They are connected to players in the industry. And these challenges, they reflect all the time. What has happened is that everybody's been looking at the direction of government. Government should do policy so that we can operate. Rather than knowing that some of the policy is one part. Even policy requires research. And some of us who have been in government intellectual foundation, even to the policies that the government is putting up. And if they are not correctly linked to the appropriate academics, you find out that those policies are probably ill-advised, inappropriate, and cannot be implemented. So that's even at the level of policy. So at the level of operation itself, you begin to see the need for a lot of research to happen in that. So that platform, that linkage has to happen. So NASIMA, MAN, all the private sector, organized private sector, and even the informal private sector, but that's becoming a significant part of our polity today, needs to begin to gradually organize so that some of those problems at that level, NASME, NASI, are all there, pulling all these players together. They are all suffering, they are talking about challenges, but who is listening to them? So we need to find a way of relating with them to be able to see what needs to happen. And also our system of education has to change. It should not just be talk and talk. We should build a network such that our students begin to see the problems of industry early enough in their career. We talk about internships, apprenticeships, volunteering and things like that. Those things are built in the structure as they're going on, such that students begin to see the practical, their practical side of the academics. I think it's all been like we have been using what I call a funnel approach, push everybody to school, go and do JAMB, go and get a degree and graduate. But sometime along the line, we need to begin to insist academia, industry must begin to see that our students must begin to gather experience right from the time they are leaving school. Very soon we are going to, as lead resources, we have seen another dimension now. People who are who left secondary school now, most likely will wait at home for 1 year. The ones that are in year one have not started, have not even gone too far. The ones that are going to do JAMB now, when are they going to go to school? What are they supposed to be doing? So maybe we need to find a way of getting industry to get these people into their offices to start getting to know the problems that they have. And I think that interaction needs to happen. Those kind of interactions, new modeling needs to happen. Databases need to be created. And I think we can't exhaust the conclusions here. We will continue to create opportunities like this for us to interact. And then from there, we'll be able to come together. We'll be able to be seeing the initiatives. Informally, before now, informally, a lot of things have been happening, particularly in this climb, about those interactions. We meet and we say, what can we do together? And I think that this is also formalizing it. And I think for this program, for us to actually run this program, one of those things we tried to do was to say, okay, look, let's address the need of the industry now, or of the environment now. There are graduates who have done some research, they can't get jobs. Even the entrepreneurship that we're talking about, we see, and Professor Adinwumi or Professor Zakaria, who see what we went through in the startup process. Some of the projects that our people are bringing out are what I call commonplace projects, not necessarily supported by the kind of research that Dr. Obadino was talking about. They want to do bead making, they want to do hairdressing, they want to do food catering and all of that. We need to begin to channel our young graduates who have gone to school to study, what they actually studied, what they did a lot of work on towards solving the problems in our environment. And so that is one of the reasons why we put it together. And that's why we have created this platform, particularly for young people to say, okay, look, what project have you done? Are you excited about it? Do you want to take it further? And let's see how this can be taken further. And that's why we have created a link here. Anybody that wants to participate in that, if you have students who think needs to take his project forward, you can fill his details in that link, and then we can continue that process from there. And also, very soon, in about 2-3 weeks from now, we are going to do the pathways, career pathways for young people, so that they can begin to see opportunities available for them. So gather experience first, and then when they get to academia, they can begin to do a lot of things. I don't know, I've been seeing Professor Sholari in and out to make some comments, but if it's not here, I would like to thank each and every one of us that participated in this. We gave this at a very short notice. The environment today has allowed for what the case called business at the speed of thought. And I think I appreciate the response. I know that Professor Sholari is up there. I would like to get some final gadgets comments for him about what has been transpiring. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Thank you very much. I want to thank you, sir, for putting this together. I'm really excited about it, and I'm sure that something good is coming out of this. Let me say that you need to do something like this for lecturers, because with lecturers, we need to change. That's my first comment. And the other one also to the young people, you can see that great opportunities are ahead of you. Whatever innovations you have, all you need to do is to now know how to identify where that is needed, where there's somebody who desperately needs that innovation, and then you can run with it. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Short and sharp, expected of a mathematics professor. Straight to the point. We will look at the opportunity to engage lecturers a lot more, and then for the other side, we're always in engagement with them. I think on this note, we'll spend.
All right, sir. Before we go, sir, yes. Please can we kindly use our video, put on our video, so that we can take a screenshot of this event before we say a final goodbye. So please kindly help us put on your video.
How do you see your video? That's it. Okay, so that we can see everybody. We're all live. And
yes, we can take a group photograph of the event.
How do you do that, man? We can see it.
Wow, I can see you, sir. You are greeting us with your hand, waving your hand.
Engineer Nikki, thank you for
on Nigeria. Sorry if I could have told you to say one or two things. Very much. Fumi Benji, how are you? Long time.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, I don't get below.
It's good to be part of this.
Thank you for thank you very much, sir, man.
All right, so on behalf of Lead Resources, we want to say a big thank you to everyone for making it a date with us. Thank you so much, and we believe this conversation will not stop here. A lot is going to happen after this conversation, and we will definitely carry everybody along. Thank you so much once again. So, Dr. Shukule, you can have the final floor, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
I want to, first of all, thank everybody. Very appreciative of your involvement and the determination. And I think that one thing for me, of others is that the missing link of development for non-governmental Nigerians in the and in the I want a significant number of change agents.
Final closure.
So, Mrs. Oluwaladon, well done, ma.
Bless you, sir.
Yeah.
Good day, ma. Mrs. Oluwaladon. It's quite a long time.
Yes, quite an age.
Thank you very much. Let's have a nice weekend, and God's blessing on all of us for making it day. Nigeria will be great.
Are you taking all the pictures? I hope you are taking the pictures.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
As the man taking all the pictures.
Thank you all.
Okay,
thanks to my professor.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you, Oga.
Thank you very much.
God bless you.
You are looking sweet.
I just say
God is great.
Know that in the
God bless you, mommy.
Thank you, Baba. God bless you. God bless you.
Good to hear your voice. Professor Dewumi, good to see you.
Thank you, sir. Professor Shola,
God bless you.
Sir. Yes, sir.
I'm grateful to you, sir.
Bye to all. Bye and thanks.
Thank you.
Dr.
Yes. Thank you very much, man. It is well with us. Thank you.
Amen.
Amen. But I want all of you to recognize that funding and financing for innovative research translation to the industry or aligned to the industry is not a problem at all. Viable, bankable project identification and research funding readily going to be supported by mental bodies in the diaspora. This is how India created and built its economy. Many of our people in the diaspora that are now in that age range, they are retiring. They want to have a connection with Nigeria, but they are looking for trusted proposals and developers. I's contribution. We hope to be the link with lead resources facilitating that kind of connection. The platform, the database platform for research within institutions. We have to be able to access it. We have to be able to look at it, even if it's going to be done on some kind of a subscription basis. Do that so that we can be able to have indigenous IP development opportunities that are fundable. Understand me? Those are some of the things that we think we can do by God's grace. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Dr. King. Thank you, Baba. Baba. More grace to you, Ebo. Bye.
Amen. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, it's well, this is video.
Wow. interesting.
We'll create a community.
No, community in
like
town.
this.
But look at it.
An online community.
But where you don't go, and people inside now.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
We don't hear your voice.
Adeye. Well done.
Prof. Zachariah, have you finished your prayers now? Isaac, we just look for you.
Killer Show, how you doing?
Doing fine.
Can you remove those that are not, so that you can have a little briefing?
Okay.
There's only one person. Or two. Or two.
There is. Okay.
Doris, how are you? There's people.